Investing. When you hear that word, you think of money, and it's true. Part of investing is money, which means you put some money into something, and you hope that over time it gives you more money back, and you get a return on your investment. But in this video, I want to talk about that, but also investing in anything. Investing in a relationship, investing in a community, investing your time, your energy, and your life into things and people. You need to stop investing your money, your time, your energy in anything if it takes more from you than it gives back. Now, there's sometimes that you invest in things financially or whatever, and you enjoy doing it, but you don't make money on it. And if you can consider it a hobby, and if you can allocate it to just entertainment, that's fine. And the same thing, with relationships or people or places. If, you go on a vacation, it's like sometimes you don't enjoy the vacation. You say, well, I shouldn't have came here. I didn't enjoy this. I remember one time going to Virginia Beach and saying that. But also there were things that I experienced and that I learned from that trip that were good. And sometimes in life, you may not consider something a positive investment, but you gain experience. But the key is, like, I didn't return to Virginia Beach, right? It's like, and so in life, you have to be careful where you return to, where you continue to invest in. Dead-end relationship. People don't change. So at a certain point, you have to evaluate, can you allocate energy and time into someone who you have to accept who they are? And I often examine life as you should reserve that capacity for people that are special to you, like your parents, your pets, someone, or, because even them you have to have limits. And so every situation you need boundaries. Every investment you need to know, well, how much can I afford to lose financially, emotionally, and your time, your life? This is your life. How do you waste your life? You keep investing in things that keep taking more than giving back. Sometimes you need to step back and stop investing and reevaluate what you're putting your money, your time, and your energy into. As an adult, the best part is you kind of get to determine what you do if you do the work of your life. The worst part is if you don't check yourself, you wreck yourself. Because there's no more blaming, your parents or life or society. Look, you got to just face it. That's adulthood. Stop investing. It's like sometimes I say to myself, well, this is a good financial investment, but it steals a lot of my peace and my energy and my joy. So then I say to myself, well, let me think about this then. Sometimes I say to myself, well, if this investment brings me long-term financial return, but it steals my joy and my energy, it's almost like marrying someone just for money. Again, I often say, like, if I was in a third world country and I had no other way to get out, would I marry someone to get my citizenship or to make money? If I was desperate, and it was the only way out of a horrible situation, possibly. But if you're not in that position in life, like where you don't have to do something to get out of a horrible situation, then think about that. Because sometimes in life, even if you can make money or whatever, or even if you get just some joy out of something, you have to look at it holistic. Overall, not just in one aspect of life. Life is multidimensional. Like you often hear about people saying different dimensions. That has nothing to do with about outer space or like the afterlife. That has everything to do about looking at life not just through a narrow perspective. Financially, emotionally, physically, mentally. That's multidimensional, the different parts of life. And you always have to look at all the parts and step back and look at it from a holistic perspective and think, you know what? I have to reallocate or reassess what I need to keep investing in and what I need to stop. Often I have to check myself. Again, check yourself where you wreck yourself. Often I have to check myself if I get seduced back into something that is more negative than positive and that I don't have joy for. See, sometimes in life, you will have to persevere, endure more negative than positive, as long as you have foundational data, understanding, finances to endure that. Okay. But the only reason you endure that is because you have enough joy and hope that you can overcome that, or you see some type of future in that. But sometimes in life, even if you can endure that, you have to ask, what am I going back to? Why am I doing this? Why am I investing my money? Why am I not pulling my money out? Why am I investing my time in something? People don't calculate for their time. I often hear, and I heard this doing contract work, I see it in van life, I see it in all aspects of life. People say, well, I can do that renovation myself. I can build out that van myself. Yeah, but what they don't calculate is the time they spend equals money. If you spend 2 months building out a van, you could have worked those 2 months at Amazon or did DoorDash deliveries. You could have made, $5,000, $10,000. Instead, you just spent that time doing something. So, it's like, to me, I look at the same thing with being a campground host. A campground host is, you're getting free lot rent, but the amount of time that you're spending working is like you're making less than you would if you worked at Walmart. And that, that's where I mean in life, time, energy. It's like, when you go somewhere and it's a great investment, it's a beautiful environment, but emotionally, the environment takes out of you. The people are nasty. The people are entitled. Then you say, hold up. What am I investing in? When should you stop investing? That's a question we all have to ask ourselves. Why? Because we're adults. And part of adulthood is saying, okay, what am I doing here? I need to check myself before I wreck myself. Not just financially, but emotionally. Number one cause of stress is not finances, it's relationships. And it doesn't have to be a lover. It could be your community. It could be friendship. It doesn't have to just be love relationships. Relationships, number one cause of stress. Money's number two. So I hope this video helped you in some way. I'm just talking out myself, trying to focus myself, check myself. Click the thumbs up. You appreciate this video. Thank you to my members. Share the video. Leave a positive comment below. Show up consistently. Why? One is most people don't show up consistently. So even if you're not hugely intelligent, even if you're not doing something magical, consistently showing up is one of the greatest investments, one of the greatest habits you can form as you mature. You're not going to get this in your teens or 20s. This is something like 30s, 40s you develop. Because if you can consistently show up, now you've just about beat out 80% of society. Because 80% of society will not consistently show up. One of the things I also learned doing contract work is how many compliments I got, not just like on my work, but on showing up on time consistently. They're like, oh my God, you don't know how many contractors I called. And they say they're going to show up and they don't show up, or they don't show up on time. Every time I call you, you show up, you're here right on time. I got that compliment more than anything else. Why? Because people don't want to waste their time more than their money. They'll pay you even a little bit more. They'll lose money to gain back time. Never forget that. Stop investing where you lose your energy and your time, because sometimes in life you're willing to spend money to gain back time. Click the thumbs up. Thank you for watching.